back to Football Picks on TalkingSports.tv here at Charlie Fitz Whiskies in Vaughan, Ontario. And I'm Marty York, joined, of course, by Uncle Ben of UncleBen'sFootball.com and Handsome Howard Kamen of Charlie Fitz Whiskies. And folks, we are preparing now to hear the top picks of the week. And last week, both Handsome Howard and Uncle Ben agreed that the Baltimore Ravens were the play of the week. I had my doubts, frankly. But this game went into overtime, and the Ravens did indeed win. History has shown, since we began this program at the outset of this season, that when Handsome Howard and Uncle Ben agree on a top pick, it's a no-brainer. Take it. Just take their top pick because, we don't do all that tout crap where we're saying we win. I mean, if you lose, you say so. But the fact of the matter is that when they have agreed on their top picks, they've always come in.
You know what?
Go ahead.
You're right, Marty. I don't remember us losing too many of those.
No, they've come in all year.
Yeah.
Baltimore won it. Yes, it was in overtime. It was kind of lucky, but they
Shouldn't
won.
have gone into
and
overtime.
They covered. It should not have gone into overtime. It was a Hail Mary that Cincinnati had on the last play that put it into overtime. But yes, that one won. And now what I'm leading to, guys, is that you are agreeing on two top picks this week. Two top picks, completely coincidental. They come to the set. They don't tell each other who they like, but they both have come forth with two of the same top picks. Uncle Ben, we'll start with you. Washington visits Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is a 3.5-point favorite in this one. The Eagles have been doing fairly well with Nick Foles at quarterback. The guy's been on fire, but the Redskins are 3.5-point dogs in this game. You like the dog, huh?
Well, yeah, I like the Washington Redskins here. Like I said earlier in the earlier segment, I just think the NFC East is going to really tighten up because I like the Giants, and I also like the Washington Redskins this week. The Eagles return home with a pair of wins, but they've really had trouble at home, and they're just burying. They're a money-burning 0-10, both straight up and against the spread in their last 10 home games, the Philadelphia Eagles. So, adding insult to injury, the Eagles have failed miserably when hosting an avenging bunch of Redskins, going 3-12 against the spread of late. Washington lost 33-27 opening week with Michael Vick at the helm for the Philadelphia Eagles. But you got to understand that the Hogs are an outstanding 10-0 against the spread as a division dog of 7 or less with revenge since the year 2000. So they haven't lost a game when they're getting less than a touchdown on the road with revenge in the last 12 years. I like that.
Wow.
It's RG3's time. He seems to be climbing a little bit on the offensive side, a little more healthy. And Mike Shanahan is 19-6 against the spread in his career with revenge in division games versus 500 or greater opposition, including 10-1 against the spread as a dog of 7 points or less. Like I said, I just think the Washington Redskins are going to win this ballgame outright. 3.5 points. Maybe you can buy it up to 4 if you feel the need to. It doesn't cost you a cent when we win. I just think that the Washington Redskins are going to win this game outright. The Eagles play horribly at home, and the NFC East tightens up a lot.
Now, Howard, you're equally excited about the Redskins this week, and I'm wondering why, because they have had a little bit of time to rest from their last game, which was a Thursday night game a week ago, more than a week ago, but they didn't look that good against the Vikings, and they end up losing that game outright. RG3 has not shown to me that he's anywhere close to last season. Ben's come up with some fantastic statistics to show why you should put your money on the Redskins. You agree?
Yeah, I like Washington as well. And this was around the time last year where the Washington Redskins started to get hot. I believe they won their last 5 or 6 games of the season. They won the division on the last Sunday night of the season against Dallas and went into the playoffs. I believe the same thing's going to happen again this year. I think Washington hasn't played as bad as their record indicates. I mean, in fact, last week when they lost to Minnesota, they looked unstoppable in the first half. I don't know what happened from the first half to the second half, but they looked like the old Washington Redskins in the first half. I see them coming out Sunday like a house on fire. I'm not sold on the Philadelphia Eagles as a good football team. I think that whole NFC East, no team wants to win that division. Whenever there's a team that looks like they're going to start taking charge, another team comes up from the ashes. So I like the Washington Redskins plus the 3.5. I like them to win the game, take the money line with the Washington Redskins, and make some money there.
All right, the other game that the two of you agree on, gentlemen, is the Cincinnati-Cleveland game. Cincinnati coming off of 2 overtime losses in a row, are home this weekend against the Cleveland Browns. And Ben, the Bengals are 5.5-point favorites. Are they due to bounce back after these last 2 disappointing performances?
Well, yeah, Marty, I think they are due to bounce back. Like you said, after riding high in the AFC North, they lost a couple of games on the road in overtime. Now they're returning home to face their hated in-state rival, Cleveland Browns. And the Browns actually beat them back in September.
Yeah.
So, the numbers aren't really good for the Browns here, though. The Browns are just 3-9 against the spread and straight up on the division road in their expansion history when playing against an avenging foe. And like we said, they beat the Bengals back in September. And they're 0-4 straight up and against the spread their last 4 in that particular situation. The Browns are also 3-16 against the spread from Game 5 onward in the season.
Wow.
So they don't finish well, this team. The Cleveland Browns, as evidenced by their history the last few years.
Yep.
So they're 3-16 from Game 5 onward in their expansion history as dogs of 7 or fewer, including 0-9 straight up and 0-8-1 against the spread in division games. So with the revenge factor, and the Bengals, because this is a huge game for the Cincinnati Bengals playing at home, I just think that it's time for them to return to the winner's circle like we did with Baltimore last week, although we were unlucky and then lucky in that game last week. But I like the Cincinnati Bengals minus the 5.5 to revenge their earlier season loss to the Browns and get back into the winner's circle at home in Cincinnati.
And this is one of the top picks that Ben likes. Howard agrees.
Yeah, folks, go out and get some money. Get some money because Handsome Howard and Uncle Ben are agreeing on some picks, and I love Cincinnati here as well for the same reason probably that I loved Baltimore last week, right? Cincinnati was a highly bet team last week against Baltimore. The public was on them, and they disappointed. And now they're coming back home. They have to win this week. They're not going to lose 3 in a row. I think the Cleveland Browns are not a team that's going to do much in down the stretch. I think they're a team that's going to start to flounder. I like the Cincinnati Bengals to roll over the Cleveland Browns, much like they did against the New York Jets a few weeks ago at home when they crushed the New York Jets at home. I look at this as the same type of a game. Dalton's going to be on fire. He's going to be throwing touchdown passes, and they're going to win this game easily.
I'm going to go to our producer, David Grossman, get him to give me some money and bet the house on the Cincinnati
Well, you're in the
Bengals.
mortgage business, Grossman. Go get the money and lay it down.
All right. Well, there is one other top pick that both of you have. Thank you, David. That's David Grossman. That's for starters.
What's $20 here? That doesn't even pay the bloody
That's for
juice.
starters. Now, we have one more top pick from both Uncle Ben and Handsome Howard. Howard, let's start with you. The Jacksonville Jaguars got off the schneid last week. We talked about that. They won pretty big in Tennessee. They got off to a very quick start, and they never fell apart. I mean, I don't like this team. I don't like Jacksonville. I don't like Chad Henne at quarterback, and I don't like Gabbard if should he come in at quarterback. To me, this is a team without a quarterback. To me, this is a team that isn't a team. But you're getting 6.5 points in Arizona this weekend.
It's in Jacksonville.
Oh, in Jacksonville? Okay,
Yeah.
Why do you like this game?
Well, I like this game probably for the main reason that I don't think Arizona Cardinals are a team that's going to cover 6.5 points on the road. I think that Arizona plays very well at home. They play well in the desert in that covered stadium. When they go on the road, they're not the same type of team. They've played 3 games in a row at home, and they won 2 out of 3. Now they're going on the road against a Jacksonville team. Hey, Jacksonville's got to feel a little bit better about themselves. They won a game. Going to practice this week, they're going to feel a little bit more loose, and they don't have that pressure like they've had the last few weeks of, hey, we got to win this week. We don't want to go win this through the season. So I think all that being said, it sets up for a tight game. Arizona might win this game by a field goal, but I think 6.5 points is just too many points to lay with a team like Arizona on the road. And Jacksonville's won a game, so they're no longer the winless Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, so Handsome Howard saying take the Jacksonville Jaguars with the 6.5 points against Arizona. That's his 3rd top pick of this week, including the Washington Redskins plus the points, the Cincinnati Bengals laying the points. Uncle Ben has another top pick that he likes. The Houston Texans have been having a tough go lately. They did lose their coach, Kubiak, with a mini stroke. Case Keenum has come in. This is an undrafted prospect who has looked pretty good, but the Texans have come up on the short end in all of his games that he has started. This week they go in as a 7-point favorite over the Oakland Raiders. I like the quarterback matchup here. I like Case Keenum. I think he's good. I think he's for real. I really like the Oakland quarterback too. I think Pryor is a very good quarterback for today's NFL. Houston's a 7-point favorite. Who do you like?
Well, I look at this spread and I see fish all over it, okay? I see a team that hasn't won a game since September 22nd. It's going to be Thanksgiving, by the way. They've lost 7 games in a row. They're favored by 7 points. To me, that says it all. The bookmakers are dying to get some they want the Oakland action. I see Case Keenum as a very capable quarterback. 2 weeks ago, they were they blew a game to Indianapolis. They could have won that one. Then they lost to Arizona. They're playing. I think they're going to win some ball games right now. The Houston Texans are. They got Oakland this week. They got Jacksonville next week. They got 2 more games with Jacksonville, and I just think this team still has, believe it or not, the #1 ranked defense in the NFL. I don't know how you lose 7 games in a row with the #1 ranked defense in the NFL.
Maybe
the way they keep the statistics in the NFL are not really have any bearing on the outcomes of the game. That could have something to do with it.
If Texans defense has better numbers than the Panthers defense?
Yes.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Now it's yards. It has to do with yards against, I believe, is how they measure that, which is not really a true indicator. Sometimes teams get ahead. Like the Denver Broncos defense is ranked very poorly, but when you're winning by 4 touchdowns and your defense doesn't give a what, they give up yards, freely. So the statistics can be misleading, and because they played a lot of tight ball games to the Houston Texans and lost at the end. Anyhow, I like the Houston Texans at home to get off the schneid after losing 7 in a row. You don't see teams that lose 7 games in a row favored by 7 points for a reason. The bookmakers think that the Houston Texans are going to win this game. I do too. Take Houston at home to get off the schneid big time this week. They're going to bomb the Oakland Raiders, I think. They're due to bomb somebody, and I think this is the week.
All right, so there you go, folks. The top picks from 2 of the most renowned handicappers that this planet has to offer. Handsome Howard, Uncle Ben, they agree on Washington plus the 3.5. Cincinnati minus the 5.5. Uncle Ben likes Houston to win big, so lay the 7 against Oakland. Handsome Howard likes Jacksonville plus the 6.5 against Arizona. There you go. Take it to the bank, as they say. Don't go crazy. We're not endorsing you go nuts, but have fun this weekend and enhance your viewing of the NFL. Now, when we return, Uncle Ben will give us, and he has been absolutely, there's no talking. You can't.
We've been doing well.
He's been on fire with his NCAA picks. We're going to say goodbye to Handsome Howard at this juncture. Handsome, thanks for your input.
Good luck, guys, on the weekend.
The NFL. Thank you. And we'll be right back with Uncle Ben of UncleBen'sFootball.com and his top NCAA picks right after this. Don't go away.